In Siberia, far in the deepest northeast of Russia, there is a region where temperatures regularly fall to -50 degrees, sometimes even below -60. The lowest temperature ever recorded in the region is an impressive -71 degrees. Winter there lasts 8 months. It's so cold that your glasses freeze to your face. A banana that you leave outside can be used as a hammer a short time later. Somehow it doesn't seem like people should live there. But almost 1 million people have actually settled in the region. Yakutsk is the largest city there with over 300,000 inhabitants. And for some reason it even grows. YouTubers, bloggers and photographers are always drawn there because life in the freezing cold is so incredible. There is so much more to tell about the region than just look cold here. It is the scene of an exploitative diamond business and swelling historical conflicts. And last but not least, Yakutsk and the surrounding area are home to an ancient culture that is literally threatening to collapse. Yakutsk is located here in the Yakutia region, in the far northeast of Russia. The region is about 9 times the size of Germany and at least 9 times as cold. A short walk without a hat and your ears freeze off. You won't survive an hour without several layers of clothing. Cars stay on all winter, otherwise the engines would freeze. Of course, the daily market only sells frozen foods. There are no school days until -45 degrees. Beneath the city lies a layer of frozen ground over 300 meters thick. Permafrost is, as the name suggests, permanently frozen and can be more than a kilometer thick. That's why most of the houses in Yakutsk stand on such stilts, otherwise the heat from the building would melt the ice in the ground and the houses would sink. Wires, pipelines and pipes run on the surface so that if damage occurs they can be repaired quickly before everything freezes. Okay, it seems like a lot of effort just to survive there. Who does this to themselves every day? And why? Half of the population are Yakuts, a native Turkic people with roots in various parts of Asia. They have lived in the region for hundreds of years. Many of them are still self-sufficient today and breed horses, reindeer, and cattle. They mainly eat high-calorie foods, lots of meat. This is important in the cold. The other half of the population is mostly of Russian origin. From the 16th century, Russia expanded into Siberia. In the cold regions, the Tsarist Empire built many fortresses and settlements, partly to protect themselves from attacks by the locals. Yakutsk was a place like that at the beginning. Enemies of the empire were occasionally sent into exile there. Last Giafajog promised. For a long time, Yakutia was a sparsely populated region with locals, with a few Russian settlements like Yakutsk. Today this area is also called the Republic of Sakha and is considered partially independent. It has its own constitution and some of its own laws. But you still ultimately belong to Russia. Yakutsk is now a big city with a university and colleges, hospitals, public transport, Irish pubs and an airport, although it is often closed for months. But that's not a problem at all. According to Google Maps, it only takes 111 hours by car to cover just over 8,000 kilometers through 6 time zones from Moscow to Yakutsk. For the local Yakuts, living in the cold is part of their culture and identity. The Yakuts have adapted to the local conditions as best as possible. The region was named after them for a reason. But why did all the other people move here? Some may just find persistent, extreme cold cool, but most were lured by something else. There are a number of mineral resources in Yakutia. In addition to natural gas, petroleum, coal and gold, diamonds can be found here. The Russian company Alrosa is one of the largest diamond producers in the world and operates its mines mainly in this region. To this day, work in mining and trading in raw materials attracts many people to the city. Despite its mineral resources amounting to billions of dollars, Yakutia has not really become rich. Most of the money goes into the pockets of the corporations and to Moscow. Yet investments in the region should be made right now, because the 300-meter thick layer of permafrost beneath the city could be fatal for the inhabitants and also for us. Compared to the rest of the world, Arctic land is warming about 2.5 times faster due to climate change. And in the short summers, temperatures are already climbing to over 40 degrees. Freezing temperatures of -60 degrees. Walkways that are life-threatening. Incredibly long winters, during which most of the rest of the world has been deforested. And something else makes the region so incredibly unique. If people aren't looking out for one another, then, a simple mechanical problem can mean you die. That was really interesting and quite unique. I'd say not just in Russia, but in the wider world. You don't see that level of care for one another. And that sort of shared sense of responsibility to look out for one another when the outside world is so formidable and so ruthless. It's a shame that a place with such a fascinating culture and history may no longer exist in a few hundred years. Deep within the vast expanse of Siberia lies a region that warms the hearts of its inhabitants as intensely as the seemingly endless forests and biting cold challenge them. Welcome to Yakutia, a part of Russia renowned for its breathtaking natural beauty, captivating culture, and above all, the resilience of its people. The heart and soul of Yakutia undeniably lie in its icy landscapes. Here, the boundless Siberian taiga stretches as far as the eye can see, punctuated by majestic mountains and meandering rivers. Yet, the true queen of this region is the cold. Winter temperatures of -40 degrees Celsius are not uncommon, and yet the Yakut people have learned to coexist harmoniously with this seemingly relentless nature. The people of Yakutia are as warm-hearted as the fur they wrap themselves in during winter. Their culture is deeply rooted in centuries-old traditions intimately connected with the natural world. The Yakut people possess profound respect for the environment and see themselves as its guardians. Their customs and rituals often draw inspiration from zodiac signs and natural phenomena, reflecting a profound connection to the earth. Another fascinating feature of the Yakuts is their deep spiritual connection with the environment. Nature plays a central role in their legends and stories, and they believe in spirits and beings that dwell in the trees, rivers, and mountains. This mystical view shapes their daily lives, giving them comfort and hope in the darkest hours of winter. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to write us in the comments what you think about the cold. Leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.